He went to space as a citizen of the Soviet Union and came back as a citizen of Russia. But this isn't just a simple historical fact. This one sentence sums up one of the strangest stories in human history. The story of a man who left Earth while his country still existed and came back to find that his country had completely disappeared from the map. Sergei Krikalev, an experienced Soviet engineer and cosmonaut, launched into space in 1991 aboard a Soyuz spacecraft, heading to the Mir space station. His mission was supposed to be routine, just like hundreds before it. Spend a few months in space, run experiments, maintain the station, and then safely return to Earth. No one, not even Krikalev himself, had any idea that this mission would turn into a moment that history books would one day talk about. When Krikalev arrived in space, the Soviet Union was still one of the world's two superpowers. The red flag with the hammer and sickle was everywhere, and the Soviet space program was a major source of national pride. The Mir station itself was a symbol of the country's scientific and technological strength. But while Krikalev floated above Earth in orbit, things down on the blue planet were starting to change fast, and not in a good way. The Soviet Union was falling apart from the inside. The economy was collapsing, republics were demanding independence one by one, and public anger had reached its breaking point. From space, Krikalev could see the Earth, but he couldn't see how quickly his country was breaking down. News reached the station late and incomplete. Reports of protests, chaos, and eventually a failed coup against Mikhail Gorbachev. In the summer of 1991, when the coup happened in Moscow, Krikalev was in space. Think about that for a second. You're floating hundreds of kilometers above Earth, unable to go back, unable to do anything, and all you can hear through broken radio calls is that your country might be collapsing. For the first time, a terrifying question entered his mind. If the Soviet Union disappears, what happens to me? The problem wasn't just political. The space program itself was starting to fall apart. Funding was cut, leadership was unclear, and no one really knew who was in charge of bringing the astronauts home. Sergei Krikalev was, in a very real sense, stuck in space. A mission that was supposed to last a few months turned into months of endless waiting. Meanwhile, life aboard the Mir station had to go on. Krikalev had to work out for hours every day to stop his body from wasting away in zero gravity. He repaired aging systems, ran experiments, and tried to deal with the heavy psychological pressure of uncertainty. Not knowing when you'll go home. Not knowing if, when you do return, your country will even exist. From up there, Earth looked the same as always. The continents were still in place. The oceans looked calm and peaceful. But Krikalev knew that the political map of the world was changing right in front of him. The Soviet Union officially collapsed, and Russia was born as a new country, weak, broke, and full of problems. Finally, after about 10 months in space, a decision was made to bring Krikalev back to Earth. As his Soyuz spacecraft re-entered the atmosphere, he was no longer a representative of the Soviet Union and no longer a citizen of the country that had sent him into space. When he landed in 1992, he officially returned as a citizen of the Russian Federation. Sergei Krikalev held one of the longest spaceflight records at the time, but that's not what made his story unforgettable. What made it legendary was the timing. History chose to change the world right in the middle of his mission. He left when the Soviet Union was alive, and he came back when it was nothing more than a memory.